Before the dawn of civilization, in the early light of man's existence, life was an eternal struggle between good and evil.
Bloodtide! The tide comes in for blood. It calls by the moon and stuff. There's the blood tide. Blood tide. Blood tide. Yeah, man. Blood tide. I don't have any. It's Bloodtide. A title so special that there's not a slipcover for it. Bloodtide. This is another Nico Mastorakis joint. This time he is co-writer and producer. He gave the directing job to some kid, basically, a 24-year-old director named Richard Jeffries. And what we get is certainly a film with a sea monster technically in it. Martin Kove stars as Neil, who with his wife Sherry travels to a small Greek island to find his sister Madeline. There they wind up meeting shady archaeologist Fry, played by James Earl Jones, his ditzy girlfriend Barbara, and the island's mysterious leader Nereus, played by the legendary Jose Ferrer. Jose Ferrer. Things get real weird fast as Madeline has started acting really strange and joined a nunnery where she's working on peeling away layers from an old painting. This odd behavior began after she helped Fry to discover a cave where he hopes to find treasure. One explosive whoopsie later, and there's a sea monster on the loose. Nudity, death, and weird cult shit ensue. So, Bloodtide, what's there to really say about this one? First off, being a Nico Mastorakis joint, it is, at the bare minimum, entertaining. I don't think, as far as I can recall, Nico Mastorakis has ever had anything to do with anything that wasn't at least a little entertaining. Add to that, we also have some consulting or something coming from Brian Trenchard Smith. I'm not sure what the whole story is there. But Brian Trenchard Smith also had a hand in this, and I mean, that man is a fucking legend, not only of the Australian film industry, but all across the world. Of course, he did BMX Bandits, probably most notably. But for me, he'll always be known for Stunt Rock, as well as Turkey Shoot. Just a legend. So he had a little hand in making this, although I don't think as big a hand as I would have liked. And yeah, it is a film that certainly wanted to be something. So I guess just to start off things, script-wise, this thing is kind of balls. It's not an amazing script. We aren't starting off on a very strong foot. Nico Mastorakis, he wrote it again with Richard Jeffries, and you can tell certainly that it is a Nico film, but at the same time, there's kind of this problem with Nico films that aren't like the ultimate Nico Mastorakis joints, the ones that are kind of mid-tier, where they feel kind of listless. They don't feel like they really have an exact point of view that they're trying to get across. They don't feel like complete works of art, like Island of Death, and or In the Cold of the Night. But these are films that, they're fine. They have a mission to go out, do some shit, and make some money. And, they're usually pretty entertaining. Hired to Kill is one such example, where it doesn't quite live up to the promise of Oliver Reed versus Brian Thompson, but it is still fun in its own way, and that's kind of what Bloodtide is. It doesn't live up to the promise. If you watched the trailer that Arrow put out, which is also on this disc, it looked fucking hella tight. It looked amazing. It looked like it was gonna, suck your dick and reach around to your butthole at the same time. It looked like it was going to give you your money's worth. And does it give me my money's worth? Kinda, I guess. On that script level, it's basically a lame mix of Jaws and any real cult movie, let's say Wicker Man or like Dark Waters or, something like that, where it's not really anything special. And I think that trying to put the cult element into the final product is done in a very kind of haphazard manner where it never really makes total sense. You never really get a good idea of what the rules are in this world, on this Greek island, which also, of course, Nico Mastorakis has to shoot on the same Greek island with all its cool stonework and everything. That's just what Nico Mastorakis does do. And you know what? It looks beautiful. And that's I kind of want to set aside the script for a second, and by for a second I mean for the rest of the video, because the script doesn't matter. The script is fine. It gives a bunch of actors plenty of material to chew on, specifically James Earl Jones, and it provides everything you need for the movie to go along. It provides reasons for an explosion. It provides reasons for nudity. It provides reasons for weird nunnery shit. It provides reasons to show all this bullshit, and that bullshit is pretty good. You basically have two things. You have a bunch of beautiful, charismatic actors, and you have a flipping shitload of gorgeous imagery. Though that's all you get. That's it. There's atmosphere to the film, certainly. It definitely has like this very nice atmosphere going through it, but a lot of that has to do with those performances and the location and the look of everything. Because again, it's beautiful to look at. You know, you get Martin Kove, who's a total hunk as the good guy. You never see Martin Kove as the good guy. He's the asshole from Karate Kid, right? But in this one, he's the hero. And, you know, he spends almost the entire movie without a shirt on. So if you want Martin Kove without a shirt being the hero, fucking have at it, man, because you got some wank material right here. This is good shit. This is quality shit. I'm not sure Martin Kove does wear a shirt in this. Looking back, I don't remember him wearing a shirt. I don't remember seeing him and a shirt in the same room. So, good stuff, right? Ooh, and that hair. Woof, baby. That hair. Oh my God, that hair has a fucking gravitational pull. You got Mary Louise Weller. You got Lydia Cornell. You got Deborah Shelton, giving us guys something to stare at. Meanwhile, let's see, and that goes to Sexy Music over James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
What a snack in this movie. Man, if all you know James Earl Jones as is the voice of Darth Vader, one, watch a fucking movie, but two, you're in for a treat. Oh, you're in for a treat. Side note about James Earl Jones, this has no bearing on anything other than I love actors chewing scenery. There's this interesting choice to give Fry this obsession with playing Othello back in the day, and it's really just an excuse for James Earl Jones, noted thespian James Earl Jones, to recite Shakespeare. And he does it a lot, and every time, it's more than welcome. It's great. It sizzles my griddle, y'all. It's so fucking good. Every time James Earl Jones is on screen, and there's a lot of it, this movie excels. All those moments, grade A entertainment. Fantastic. James Earl Jones is not one of those actors who phones in a performance. As far as I know. I mean, he might have at some point, but from what I've seen, never phones in a performance, and in this specific instance, just fucking knocks it out of the park every scene. I could watch just the Fry show all day long and be more than content. Add to that, he's hanging out on the beach with his babe, and this other babe is there, and Martin Kove is over there with his hair going bum, 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 bum. I mean, it is sex o'clock, y'all. Sex o'clock. And we see Jose Ferrer's dick. That's not true. I'm catfishing you. So we have charismatic, sexy actors. We have a beautiful location, gorgeous photography. You're looking at it. And, that's awesome. Unfortunately, this is also a monster movie. And as a monster movie, not good. Not a good monster movie. You don't have to show a monster in this kind of movie a lot. You don't have to focus on it. Jaws obviously is a notable example of minimalism in the underwater monster subgenre. You don't have to go bug nuts with these things. But here's the thing. You also have to be a pretty good storyteller to work without the monster being on screen. And I don't think that Richard Jefferies was a bad director. I think he made a good movie here. I don't think he was at the level where he could do a Spielberg, if that makes any sense. And, I'm not sure how much Nico really had to say in some of these instances, but it definitely feels like they're struggling not having a monster on screen. And when you do see it, all of 5 seconds throughout the movie that you see it, it don't look good. Does not look good. There's this painting of it in the movie. Honestly, if you just took that painting, you cut out the monster, you made like a little South Park cartoon where it's just like bobbing in and out of the scene, that would be better than what we get. So, not a huge fan of the monster. It looks like balls. And so that does drag things down a bit, because when you finally get to that big epic showdown moment, the monster sucks. And that kind of makes you go, you know, you've built up all these emotional stakes in these characters and their situation. Oh, and there's gonna be a big showdown with this motherfucker of a monster. We've been building to it and building to it. It's gonna knock. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Oh, that's it? Oh, okay. Well, I guess that. Oh, the movie's over. Cool guy. Cool. And that's Bloodtide. It's, you know, honestly, the ending, once we've gotten through with all the monster business, it's a nice, dark, foreboding thing. It feels very Lovecraftian. I know that's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but it does have this very Lovecraftian feel. Obviously, it's a sea monster. You're not seeing a lot. People are being driven crazy. There's a lot of good Lovecraftian stuff there, and it ends on a very mysterious note. So in that way, it's a perfectly good little Lovecraftian horror movie. It's not as good as the trailer that Arrow put out, which, you know what, no fault of the movies. That's totally the fault of whatever baller-ass editor just got a raise at Arrow. Good job. And there is, you know, there's some good gore in this. Not a lot of gore, but there's some good gore. And plenty of atmosphere, and beautiful locations, and charismatic actors. So if you just want those things, if you just want a movie that you can sit back, relax, and then just enjoy washing over you, then Bloodtide might be it. Because it's a Bloodtide? Bloodtide. Tide, it's washing over. Yeah, you get it. Now, this is from a 4K scan of the original camera negative. That's dope as hell. This looks beautiful. Like, this is so much like the Dream Demon Blu-ray. This is so much more than you would expect for this title. I mean, this has like a 3 something on IMDb. A lot of people already have made up their minds they're not going to watch this, but they gave it a fucking loving restoration. So great job, Arrow. As far as extras, we don't get a whole lot. We do get a delightful 29-minute interview with Nico Mastorakis. It's very delightfully tongue-in-cheek.
Nico Mastorakis interview for Bloodtide, Arrow Films, and Omega Entertainment.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just as magical as you'd expect. It's Nico Mastorakis talking for 29 minutes, and he has such a great sense of humor. And yeah, I just like hearing him talk. So that's solid. That's a great way to spend half an hour. We also get an audio commentary with director Richard Jefferies. He is joined by Michael Felsher of Redshirt Productions, and they have a good little chat over the course of the film. Plenty about the movie, working with Nico Mastorakis, all that. So you get a lot of, information. It's certainly informative. It is a little dry. Richard Jefferies seems like a really cool guy. I like hearing his stories about kind of getting mixed up in this, by all accounts, very turbulent production. That's awesome. It would have been cool if they could get Nico Mastorakis to sit down in front of a microphone for an hour and a half. That would have been super dope. But we don't get that. We get Richard Jefferies. And you know what? Feature-length commentary with the director of a little cult gem like this. Awesome. I'll take it. That's awesome. That being said, other than that, all we get is an original theatrical trailer and that 2020 Arrow trailer. So, not a huge selection of extras. This is not like, Dream Demon, of course, had an aggressive amount of special features. This has a very modest amount, but at least they're not throwaways. It's essentially 2 really solid special features instead of a bunch of little less awesome ones. So, I'll take what I can get. So with that being said, is Bloodtide a must-buy? Maybe. If you don't want to jerk off to James Earl Jones and Martin Kove's abs, then sure, it's a must-buy. If you want a great underwater creature feature movie, not so much. If you want a good cult movie, again, not so much. If you want to just enjoy a Greek location and just dollops of atmosphere, then go for it. I certainly think this is a very rewatchable movie. But other than that, it's perfectly good. That's what it comes down to. It is a perfectly good film. And you know what? That's better than a lot of the things that wind up in my collection, so I'll take it. So yeah, okay Arrow release for a pretty okay movie. Cool. Now, for your double feature pick for this particular release, I'm gonna give you two options here. One's a little on the nose, one's similar as far as genre, but otherwise throws everything else out and is its own thing, so take your pick. I would either suggest Dark Waters from 1993. That's a pretty solid Severin release you can pick up. So Dark Waters also features a monastery, some weird supernatural shit. Or Leviathan. Yes, 1989's Leviathan. If you want to see RoboCop doing deep water shit and dealing with like some kind of weird underwater beastie, Leviathan. That's an option for you. Has Meg Foster. And it's directed by George P. Cosmatos, who's kind of like Nico Mastorakis in that he's this guy who just made fucking awesome movies, and that was his whole thing. And his son also makes great fucking movies. Great fucking movie people. He directed Cobra. George P. Cosmatos, not his son. That'd be weird. His son was too young to... It doesn't matter. Anyway, point being, watch Leviathan or Dark Waters, or whatever you feel like watching. I don't give a fuck. Come on. It's a lighthearted recommendation. I'm doing this at the last minute. Come on. Come on. Come on. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I look forward to our next batch of Arrow releases. I have a lot coming. A lot coming this way. So if whatever Arrow release you would like to see me cover next, drop a comment below. Let me know what you want to see from me. Or you know what? If you just want to tell me what you thought of Bloodtide, drop a comment below and tell me why I'm wrong or why I'm totally right and I'm so cool and hip, and you're going to go click on the Patreon right now and you're going to become a $50 a month member and you're going to start sending me bucket loads of cash and like, I don't know, what do people send creators on YouTube? Dick pics? I don't want dick pics, but I mean, I guess those come in handy. Come in handy? Come in handy? Yeah, you get it. All right, go watch a movie.